Master Everett's here teaching Hwa-Rang pattern. These are the new techniques and some drill work to go along with these new techniques to help you learn the new form. All right, so the first new technique that you're going to see in Hwa-Rang pattern is going to be a palm pressing block, and it goes out in front of the shoulder. You'll find a lot of the Taekwondo moves are centered. All right, this does go out in front of the left shoulder. So there's going to be an action-reaction where we have our shoulders at a 45-degree angle, and then the palm block coming here. All right, that's also called a shoulder stop. If I find if someone's punching at you, if you put your hand on that shoulder, it's amazing how the arm can keep going, but somehow it disrupts that punch from coming in. All right, so just think about hitting someone on the shoulder as you do that first move. All right, next new move is called a circular upset punch. The circular upset punch, basically, your starting position is going to be in a square block hand position. Your hands are going to relax a little bit, and then they're going to come over and under like that. So the upper arm relaxes a little bit, then it comes all the way out and around and comes up to about philtrum level. That's how high we want to throw this punch. The other arm basically just comes in and at the shoulder like this. So we relax and circular upset punch. All right, again, relax and circular upset punch. Sometimes it's best to break this down to relax and let the hand come in, relax, and let the hand come in like this, just to practice this so we get a good circular motion. Nothing in here really tight like this. And of course the reaction arm just relaxes and just basically pulls into the chest. All right, our next new technique is called an overhead knife hand. The overhead knife hand is where we just come overhead and perform a knife hand, right? I've heard this explained a couple of different ways. One way is to lead with the elbow, to think that the elbow is producing the range of motion and the hand being whipped around into place. And I've had other people say, think about the knife hand, or how the knife hand travels in a big circle and drops down what would be on someone's collarbone. We certainly don't want to do this and lead with the elbow like this is an elbow strike. If the end of the strike ends up looking like this, it's going to look like an elbow. So the hand comes on down like this, so it's here. Of course, it is a closed hand in the chamber through the range of motion, and then around we open the hand at the end. The reaction arm reaches out and just pulls back just a little bit. So it's going to be this motion here. All right. The stance that we do that overhead knife hand in is going to be a standing L stance. So it's going to be about shoulder width, maybe a little bit closer together. Just drop the leg under your body. The legs are they're not straight, but they're not really bent. Just kind of think slightly bent. Had an instructor used to say knees were broken, and that just what he's referring to is the knees were just slightly bent. Okay, the next new technique is the way that we step into the side kick in this form. All right. The way that step is going to be done, we're going to be in a right front stance, all right, and we're going to have the right hand out. We just completed a right punch. So what you think about is someone has grabbed a hold of that wrist and you're not going to be able to pull them in. So instead of trying to pull them in, we're going to step up to them. So in doing that, you'll see how it's like I'm bringing my right elbow forward as I step up like this, all right. So it's just simply stepping up to about a shoulder width apart stance and bringing the elbow forward. Now, not too far forward. I don't want to get in so close that I can't side kick them. So this elbow is back away from the wrist. All right. As we do the step up, the other hand is going to come in like this also. All right. And the knees are going to be well bent from there. So from that right punch, it's going to be step, bring the elbow forward, and again, the step is going to be here at about shoulder width apart. Now from there, once we perform the side kick, it's going to be a midsection side kick. The hands are just going to pull back to the side as we throw the kick. So as the leg comes up, we've not done anything yet. It's here. We want to pull the hands back as we perform that side kick. And of course, a really good rechamber is helpful, to show your ability with your side kick. And then just down to neutral for the next technique. Okay, so let's practice. So from here, we're going to practice the step, hand, and elbow all happening at the same time. The front foot really doesn't turn. If it turns in just a little bit, that's okay. But I typically am leaving my front foot out in front of me, not moving. So again, it's step, bring the elbow forward, and come up. Again, about shoulder width apart. All right, now we'll add the side kick to it. All right, so we're going to step up, bring the elbow forward, make sure we're bent really well in this back leg, and then as the knee comes back, we'll shoot it forward and pull the hands back to the side, and then just down to neutral. All right, let's put the combination together. So we grab and side kick. Again, midsection side kick. All right, so the next new technique is a reverse punch. Reverse punch is not necessarily new, but in a back L stance it is. All right, so from the L stance, the punch is not going to be a forward tar. You'll feel when you put that punch out here in front of you, how tight the shoulder is. So this punch is more or less just more in front of this shoulder. So say about 15 degrees out. All right, there's going to be a reaction arm also that's going to pull back to the side. But as we step, we want to have hips moving with the reverse punch. Reach and yeah. All right. Now we do this on both sides. So we want to put the other leg in front and put the hand out at an angle, kind of out in front of the shoulder. Reaction arm back on the side, and then practice the action and reaction. Reach and make the punch. Reach. And notice I want to reach over here to make the punch go over there. All right. So we have that equal but opposite reaction force. The front arm is just slightly bent. Again, not tight. And then we have the punch that goes out at an angle. Now, as those, there are 3 of those, and in 2 of those we're stepping into L stance to make the reverse punch. So we have to bring the hips over and back. So what you're going to find is you're going to need to learn to bring the hips over and come back as you make that reverse punch. You'd think at red belt I wouldn't have to mention that, but I see this a lot where when people are stepping, they're supposed to bring the hip over and back so the hips are going the same direction as the punch. I see a lot of people just stepping and making the punch. And their hips are actually going this way and the punch is going that way. So the hips are fighting the technique. So you need to go over and back, over and back, over and back with the hips, right? So we get good hips. So practice stepping, hips over and hips back. All right? From there, again, practice stepping, bring the hips over and back. So a matter of take your time. Don't feel like you got to rush to get from one to the other. And just make sure you have the hips going the same direction as that punch every time. All right? The next new technique is a reverse elbow. There's going to be a slide to this. We'll start this in a left front stance. And basically the right foot is going to step around and we'll go into this motion here. So the right foot is stepping is moving as the elbow comes in. There's a little bit of a slide to this also, so you'll find that as the right foot is stepping into this L stance, the left foot will slide in just a little bit, maybe about a foot and a half length. It's not a big slide to get us there, but you'll see where my heel is on this red and black, or it's on the black and gray line, how I am sliding to get into the L stance. The right arm is the primary elbow, so we want to look over that shoulder, and the elbow hand is up kind of high, not super high, but a little bit higher than normal to make this elbow sharper. But basically, both hands are going to be moving in the same direction on this move. The next technique is going to be a high and low block. All right, and that's simply where we start with the arms crossed in front and make a high inner forearm block and a low block at the same time. All right, then there's a chamber. So it's done on both sides. All right, so it's cross, bring the hands into position, cross, bring the hands into position, cross, bring the hands into position, and they're not wide, they are at the body line here. All right, so those are all your new techniques in Hwa-Rang. All right, so go through this tutorial several times, make sure you're familiar with each one of these techniques and how to chamber and how to do them. In the next video, we'll work on the instructional version of the pattern. We'll put the whole pattern together. All right, thank you.